Welcome
to the Wally Show Aftercast.
Yes.
I requested that I wanted to start the Aftercast.
Oh, yeah, you're more than welcome to start it.
Well, you didn't let me. You started.
Well, did he agree, though?
Yeah, it's
I
true.
never heard him go,
agree.
yes, you
I didn't know what part you meant you wanted to start.
Okay, let's start over.
Okay.
Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. And Wally has already fallen off the bandwagon with his New Year's resolution.
Okay, so I am trying to lose a few pounds, and so I have limited myself to one medium McDonald's Coke a week and one medium Dunkin' coffee a week. Yeah, that's my thing. You got to start small, Rock. You can't just like.
But medium is has enough sugar for.
But I usually do a large.
Yeah.
It's the I didn't diet coming into full effect. I could have had a large.
He's got to wean off of it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you don't struggle like this. You're just tiny, and we all hate you. No, I am but I went out and I got a piece of chocolate, just one little tiny nugget of chocolate.
I did too, by the way.
Which, thank you, Gavin. Solidarity. Appreciate you.
If you fall, I fall.
Attaboy. You go, we go. So I haven't had anything for breakfast, though, today. Like, this would be my breakfast.
Which is not a good thing.
Why?
It's not a good thing.
I'm going to I personally, as I'd probably say the most intelligent dietitian on the channel, and in the sense that I'm not a dietitian, but I paid the most attention to food over the course of these last couple of years.
For sure.
You do want to start your day with food. There is such a thing as intermittent fasting, but your version is not the smart version per se.
And two, I've heard that when you eat a well-balanced breakfast, it actually speeds up your metabolism.
I've heard that too, but I don't believe it.
You want to start your day with some protein. That's like a really good thing that goes right to your brain, even though I think you operate on a high level regardless of whatever you have.
Honestly,
nice save, Gavin.
let me just say this. Honestly, I know men battle a
lot of things. Yeah.
We're
strong people.
Yeah. But like a food situation where they're like starving themselves or something. I know that they do that. I know that that's possible.
Yeah.
But it typically happens in the female realm.
Typically, yes.
100%.
And I would say if you were a woman in the same situation and I saw you doing this, I would be concerned.
Really?
Yes.
See, it
because
just seems to make sense.
No, it's not the healthy way to do it. You are starving yourself. So you've been up since 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 hours now.
Yeah.
You've had nothing to eat.
I call that willpower.
No, I call that starving yourself. I call that anorexia.
Okay, no, because here's the deal. No one has ever accused me of that. So thank you. Here's the way I look at it. And maybe this is backwards, but
Probably.
If I'm trying to minimize my caloric intake, because that's a big part of this. So I go, okay, I don't have a breakfast, and I get through the show. I just have the water. I have one little chocolate thing just to get me through. Then I'll have a sensible lunch of a turkey sandwich, and then I'll have dinner. And so I'm eating 2 meals a day that are full meals, and so I'm still getting food, but I'm just not eating in the morning. And I know they do say eat in the morning is the most important meal of the day.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's true.
Well, it is definitely hard, and there is a lot of science to back up waking up and then not feeding yourself right away, because it does allow your body to, continue the work that you've put in the day before. And, that's if you're putting in the, physical work, whether it's like exercise or working out, which that's when you wake up, your body's still burning stuff that's in your system and then burns what's, they go through that fuel and then it starts burning the fat. But if you're not, focusing on putting like protein into your system at, certain times of the day. And it is kind of sad, because whenever I sat down to do the math on all the things that you need, it is a lot. Like, you need a lot of protein and a lot of water and all this stuff to really get to crazy results.
You see what Gavin eats in the morning. Like, he'll do cashews or peanuts or like something that is
proteiny,
healthy.
Right.
Whereas you are like, I've starved myself for 6 hours and I am treating myself to a little nugget of chocolate.
When you say it that way, it does make it sound like a girl problem. It really does.
It's the truth.
So what I should do is go have another piece of chocolate?
No, what I'm saying is either you do it right or don't do it at all.
You did a good job. You were doing smoothies at one point.
Yeah, I do like smoothies.
V8 juice. It was really good. You could.
What happened to that?
That's work. That
coffee.
does take.
Yeah. Coffee happened to that. Coffee's better.
Well, I guess we're only a few days in.
I'm only 1 day in. I'm on my 2nd day and I already want to quit.
This isn't fun.
So I thought no, it's not. It really isn't fun. And I thought that, okay, it does come down to the willpower thing, where you're like, okay, I mind over matter. And I get why people like use drugs like Ozempic and stuff like that, because it that is the substitute for willpower, and I don't want to get there.
Yeah, but if a girl came up to you, let's say me, okay, and I said, I haven't eaten anything for 6 hours,
right?
But I'm going to treat myself to a nugget of chocolate,
right?
Cool.
I'd say you look great. No, I'm just kidding. I do get how it sounds. But then if I also said, well, what are you having for lunch? And you go, oh, I'm going to have a piece of lettuce. Okay, well, what are you having for dinner? I'm going to have a protein bar. 100%. I'm 1,000,000% concerned. But when you say, what are you having for lunch? I say, well, I'm going to have a turkey sandwich and some chips and water. And then you say, what are you having for dinner? Like last night I had chili and rice. So I mean, I had full meals.
I think the point that Gavin and I are trying to make here is your lunch and your dinner, you're doing great. But I wish that you would find something like that for your breakfast.
The breakfast. Yeah. Breakfast foods are just so like high in fat, like any of the good ones. Like the good ones.
Like your chocolate covered donuts.
Yes, they're so good. Or I looked at something the other day. I'm like, oh, it was a coffee. I'm like, that's only 290 calories, and you guys both freaked out. You're like, that has so much sugar in it. And I'm like, well, I can't do anything. I thought 290 calories was good.
It's it is, but it's if you're going to be getting, I think there's a general consensus that isn't your breakfast per se. If it was a protein shake, then sure, because it's got protein and a couple other things.
But you have those glass bottles, Starbucks
coffees,
you
gave
which
me.
Are good. It's like,
but there's so much sugar in them, and then you're like, I'm just going to drink this because it makes me feel full.
It does, and then I would skip lunch, and then I would just have dinner.
But it's not the right kind of calories. It's not good calories.
If you wanted to lose weight, then one of the best ways to start that is by cutting calories via like drinks
and
out of
carbs
your system. And that's why
and
that's why it's tough, because like some people love Coke Zero and they love the Zero products. Those are fantastic. But then it's tough when you do that and then maybe you treat yourself with a Coke and these don't even measure up to each other.
You know what
that's
you
the hard
should
part.
do is, instead of having your plain old turkey sandwich and chips for lunch, you should have that for breakfast. And then you have the long span.
Or at 11 o'clock maybe.
Yeah.
You generally, because some people with intermittent fasting, you try to fit it into an 8-hour window. Your window generally seems like it's closer to 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, so you have lunch at
like maybe
at
1,
2.
Yeah, I used to eat lunch at 1:30.
And then you have supper at...
Because you're old, you do it at like 5.
4.
If I do lunch, there are some days, full disclosure, there are some days where if I eat lunch, if I get home from work like at 2, and I get past hunger usually, and then you're like, okay, well, if I just wait till 3 or 4 and eat dinner then, like we'll have like a big dinner then, and then I'll have a dessert like at 7.
But have you noticed that when you don't eat and you are hungry, like you said, you're trying to work through that hunger feeling, and I've done that too, I find myself getting angrier, easier, more snippy. Right. And it's kind of like that Snickers bar commercial. Throw something at them.
Betty White
so
playing
maybe
football.
it would help you to curb that appetite. You eat your turkey sandwich in the morning or at 10 or whatever, and then you have a good supper at the end of the day.
I think the difficult thing is, like, for some people, like my wife, I have more of an addictive personality than my wife has. So my wife, well, I'm not there to monitor her, but she swears, I can have like 2 Hershey's Kisses, and be fine. I cannot have just 2 of them. Like right now, I had the 1 chocolate thing. I could have 10 more, easily. And so, like, if left to my own devices, it would be easy for me to go and just have 4 more and be like, oh, no, I just had 2.
But wouldn't it make you feel like you're doing a better job at your job if you, like, eat something that's good for you? And it kind of takes that pressure away of like, I'm so hungry, and then you're getting snippy. And
Yeah. I didn't get snippy today, though.
I'm saying... 100%. But I'm saying in the past, like when your computer gives you the death wheel, and you're just like, what?
Yeah. I even had 2 moments today where I could have lost my cool, like I have in the past, and it's cost me money, and I did not today.
Oh, really?
Yes, this monitor is still intact, so we're doing good today.
I would be intrigued to have you pitch the way that you eat sometimes and have
to a dietitian.
People call in and say, maybe a Yugal style, a dietitian does call in and says, hey, get off his back. He's doing just fine.
Yeah, look at him. He looks beautiful.
Do you like peanuts?
That's why this is racial.
I do.
Why don't you have those then?
Those aren't that.
They don't seem worth it.
I'm never happy eating those.
I think another problem for you, and I do this too, if it doesn't sound good, then I'd rather just not eat.
Right. Yeah. They've got to be worth the calories.
I can't do that.
Yeah. See, if you're trying to lose weight, like to me, the thing that you're having, if you're going to have calories, then it has to be worth it, kind of thing. Yeah. And so some of that stuff is just like, oh, well, I could go do this. Or like if you're doing Weight Watchers and something is 4 points or something's 8 points, and the 4 points is like, this is not good.
Yeah,
I'll do the 8.
Not worth it.
No, I know. And I haven't broke out the Weight Watchers book yet. Like I've literally I literally started yesterday. So
you know who's probably worried about you?
Who?
Nubia.
Oh, I know.
You gave her your Christmas card.
I did.
And she's like, and Sir hasn't been back in a while.
And then I disappeared.
It was a goodbye gift.
Well, that's okay. There's still a Friday coming, and I get one a week.
Friday.
Yeah. Well, because the one thing that I did find, like I had heard somebody say, don't make goals that only a dead person can do. And it's like, oh, that makes sense to me. So like
don't eat?
Well, no, like if you're like, I'm never going to have chocolate cake again kind of thing. And if you love chocolate cake, you're going to fall. And so when you do fall, then you feel like you failed. And so for me, I love McDonald's Coke, and I know I'm never going to just wipe it out. So by limiting it and saying, okay, let me set parameters on it, and I'll have, excuse me, that's the chocolate bar. I'll have one a week. Then at least it's attainable, and then it's on me to stick to that.
Well, and I will say one more thing about this. I am glad that you're doing it now and not during support drive, because that is the dumbest time to even do this.
But there are still ways to do well during support drive while eating every breakfast that we get delivered. It's just certain menu items that maybe aren't quite as good. And I know it comes back to that idea of, if I'm going to eat it, it better be worth it.
Right.
But also,
what do you value, honestly? And I mean, and for me, it's a complete. Well, it's twofold. It's mainly vanity, like 100%. Like I don't like the way I look always, like in my shirts or whatever. And so it's like, okay, so that's my main reason I want to. And I put on, I'm 10 pounds overweight, so I want to get rid of that 10 pounds.
There's also a difference between the process and the journey that someone has when it's like 50 versus 10.
Absolutely,
as well.
10's harder to lose than 50. No, I'm just kidding. You actually, if you need to lose like a big chunk of weight, you do see bigger chunks come off at first.
Oh, it's fun.
But like, losing 10 pounds, it's a little tricky too, because you'll get to like 8, and that's where it's dangerous. The 8 is the worst, because I've done that recently. Like, oh, good, I'm only 2 pounds off. Oh, I can lighten up again. And instead of staying in it, you're like, oh, good, I'm 2 pounds. I'll get there.
So
and then
I basically did
undo
it.
yourself. Yeah. I got there, close enough. Horseshoes and hand grenades, and that undoes you.
We also did a story yesterday about a woman who lost 100 pounds and realized that wasn't really something that brought her
I finally
joy.
saw the pictures of her. Did you see the pictures of her? I think she looked great, but she almost looked like she lost too much weight.
Yeah, she was super skinny.
I thought
the thigh gap was crazy.
Yes, I thought the same thing. I thought
but she could have photoshopped that.
Maybe
I wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah, because I thought going from what she was to that, I always feel bad for people that lose a lot of weight like that, and they've done the work, but then they have all the excess skin, and that's where you have to. That's where you have to be in the gym trying to strengthen that.
I feel bad for those people, because how are you supposed to afford that many jeans?
Yeah,
in that many sizes. Like she lost 100 pounds, so let's say she was at a 26, a size 26, and then she's now down to a size 3. That's a lot of
a lot of jeans. Yeah. Yeah, and they're not cheap. And as we know from you, it's a lot of trying on to find the right pair.
Yeah, well, and guys, in general, if I wanted to reduce my waist size by 4 to 5 inches, then I could keep the pair I have and just cinch up that belt a little bit more. It's not going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I think women are a little bit more concerned with that, like fitting in every aspect of the jean. Maybe you with your skinny jeans would be a little bit different.
They all fit the same. Those are great.
As long as you get the stretchy ones.
Yeah, that's right. That's what you do. Stretchy skinny jeans, not a problem. Solve that problem. Okay. Speaking of problems, oh my goodness, the Bachelorette. Remember Rachel Lindsay? She was the first African American Bachelorette. Well, her and her husband that she picked from the show announced that they're filing for divorce.
How long has it been?
4 years.
Oh.
So
sad.
They made it better than most, or longer than most. I would love to see the numbers on that show as to its success ratio of marriages.
It can't be great.
And it really isn't. Like, I think the first couple,
the
firefighter, and what was her name? Allie?
I have no idea.
I think it was Allie. I think they're still together with kids and everything like that, but I think they are the extreme exception.
There was a Christian one that I think they're still together.
Was he Mormon? The blonde guy?
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, maybe. I can't. No, maybe he wasn't Mormon. But anyway, yeah. So they're filing, and they said sometimes loving yourself and your partner means you must let go. Oh, that sounds like it was written by the Bachelor writer.
That's a good excuse to not be married anymore.
That's
a well-written way to get out of something that's not good.
This is what's interesting, though, is like her estranged husband is seeking spousal support.
What?
Yeah, I know. And they didn't define the amount, but he is asking for spousal support. Yeah, financial. It's like, really, dude? That's a punk move. I mean, he's a chiropractor. You've got your own business or whatever. And so,
but he's come accustomed to a certain way of life.
Yeah, I don't know what she did. I mean, was she a baller or not? I don't know what she did.
Influencer.
I want to say she was in sales or something, but like, and not only that, but this is where you're like, oh wow, they are really balling. They have residences in North Hollywood, Los Angeles, and in San Fernando, and he wants those places too. You did not choose well, apparently, Miss Rachel.
Or you didn't sign a prenup.
Yeah, they said that they didn't have a prenup, and so that's where you think, oh, maybe they didn't have much going in, and so they didn't prenup. Like I mean, when I got married, there's zero reason to have a prenup. I had a Civic, okay, you're going to get my Civic. That's it. I do understand it more people later in life. And like we ran into this with my father-in-law after his wife passed away and he was remarrying. We're like, just get a prenup because we're trying to protect the assets for the family that his wife would have wanted it to go to her children, and it was such a weird, horrible conversation at the time, but like I get it. I mean, like, because all of a sudden he married this gold digger and she got some of his money, which she should have gotten none. But then it like goes to her family or whatever. You're like, wait a minute. So I understand laying that stuff out. I mean, because like for example, say my wife passed away. I'm 55, and if I remarried, I could still have 30 more years with somebody before I die, and that's a full lifetime, almost. And so you could have this great relationship, but then it's like I need to make sure that I would protect Haley and my daughter, and stuff like that, and I would want to provide for this other woman. And maybe her kids to some extent, maybe. I don't know. But like, I think I would want to take my assets and save them for my daughter, I
mean, I think that's what a responsible, loving dad should do.
Right.
But I know in my own family, not my dad, but just in my own family, I've seen where dads have not taken care of their responsibilities before they passed on.
Yeah.
And then their kids are having to pay the consequence, and that money is going towards stepkids.
I have some close friends that when their father got divorced and he was wealthy, it all went to his new wife, and she's still alive and she has control of it all. And they have to ask her if they want any money to come out of the family trust, and she has the sole ability to say yes or no. And then at the end, when she passes away, it is on her estate to then divvy it up, and she could theoretically say no, and like give it all to her family. There's an agreement that she won't. And when I had talked to them last, like she had told them no on certain things. But when I talked to them last, they said that her accountant person said she hasn't even touched the principal. Oh, wow. Like she's been living off of the interest all these years. It was that sizable of an amount. So she hasn't misused it, which is good for their family. So if she honors what they have set up, then like they'll be taken care of later on. But it's again muddy. Money and family can get really muddy, and that's why unfortunately you lay things out like that to have the assets transfer. I hate that it gets like that, honestly. Like it shouldn't be that, but sadly in this world that we're in, it kind of does. Lady Rock, what do you got?
Well, I think most of us have found ourselves watching a TV show or a movie, and the plot has become unrealistic because nowadays with the phones, cell phones and stuff, things aren't plausible anymore.
Like where are you right now? And you're like, just now you just look on your phone and you
kind of like Home Alone.
Exactly where they are.
People are like, Kevin could have just called his mom and been like, I am over here. But anyways, I found this list of popular TV show plots that have aged badly. One of those is Airport Professions of Love. So you've seen it where they like decide at the last minute, I need to tell this person that I love them before they board the plane, and they run through the airport. And nowadays you can't do that anymore because TSA is going to be like, no, you got to pay the cash for
those days are gone.
The ticket.
Yeah, I would love to see one like a modern version of this today, where the guy is running to meet her and he's like, Camille, and he's getting patted down. Could you please hurry, sir? Camille, I love you. I'll be there in a second.
Screaming in the tank.
Yeah, sir. We're gonna have to ask you to step out of line here. Just wait a minute. They're looking through my bag again.
Another implausible situation, Amnesia. It was a storyline, very popular storyline in the 90s.
Soap operas used amnesia all the time.
Yes. And
50 First Dates.
Fair to say, yes.
That was a good one. That was the best
funny.
Amnesia movie ever.
Hallmark films.
All the time.
Even rom-coms. I've seen some where it's like,
oh, she got a bump on the head. She doesn't know who she is.
Right.
Well, think about it. One of our favorite ones, While You Were Sleeping. Amnesia.
I love that movie.
Oh, yeah. That was
lost a memory,
yeah. He had a memory loss. But they're saying that amnesia isn't as common as they make it seem to be, and that amnesia is actually a brain injury. So someone who would not be walking like everything is fine. Like they're actually, some are having to relearn how to walk.
Yeah, that makes it a different movie. Just stumbling,
Exactly. Another one is makeovers to fix the tomboy or the nerd.
Oh, that's a classic.
I know, but it's saying like you look better if you're in a dress, no glasses, and
that's
your hair's
social.
down.
That's social changing them, because then you're like, oh, you're body shaming me, or you're shaming me if I don't want to wear makeup and stuff like that. But like if you've got somebody, I mean, they're showing a before and after basically, and they're saying that this is more desirable or this looks better. But everyone's so sensitive about everything today.
Speaking of sensitivity, another one that made this list are fat jokes. So overweight people were an easy target for a long time in plots, but today society has become very body positive. So it hasn't aged well. Like, for instance, there's one that...
Shallow Hal. I knew exactly. That is the quintessential fat person movie.
Like, I wonder if I haven't heard Jack Black or Cameron Diaz. I think that's Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, it was Cameron Diaz.
That's Cameron Diaz?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I thought I was agreeing. I thought you were right.
I know.
That's my problem. I shouldn't have agreed with you.
He did like a fat suit.
But it was really bad. Yeah, he wears a fat suit. And now, there was one movie that
she did too.
Renee Zellweger was in, and then she was in a fat suit and then had to apologize because people were just like, oh, that's horrible.
And then they're like, they should have gotten a fat actress. Yeah, but she's an Oscar winner. She's a good actress, and we do makeup all the time.
Yeah, it's like more about like if your job is to act and the character is fat, I'd rather it be, someone pretending to be fat than a fat person acting poorly.
Think about this.
Fat people.
See, you can't say that.
I know,
I
feel wrong.
That.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Think about this. This Is Us. You have Chrissy Metz, who was a large woman, and then you had her love interest who wore a fat suit, actually. I don't even think we can say fat suit. He wore an overly indulgent plump suit. That's the thing. Everyone's so offended by everything.
And then I think the character got fit.
Yeah, and then he got
between
fit
a couple seasons, and he's just big.
That was the plot line, is that he would get. So that's why they put him in the big suit, so that then the next season was in better shape. That was a whole storyline.
Wonder if she was offended for that.
Yeah, I don't know. She seems like she has a pretty good sense of humor, though. But I mean, honestly, there's at some point in time too. you have to take personal responsibility for things.
I think what it comes down to with the whole sensitivity situation is we are looking to the world to tell us we're okay, to tell us that we are fine the way we are, because we're insecure inside of ourselves. So we're looking for that security outside of ourselves. But we live in a broken world and with broken people, and they're going to say things that offend you. So if you're constantly looking for someone to affirm you outside of yourself, you're constantly going to be offended and get hurt. Yeah, so if you can be confident in yourself, then what people say will just fly off your back.
Yeah, I don't understand like watching a TV show. Like I would never understand watching a TV show, like say where they had an actor that dressed in a fat suit and be offended, like you should have a fat act. Like I don't understand that. I don't understand getting offended by most everything, like it's not everybody's job to not offend you, Now, are there things that are wrong? Absolutely. Are there things that are a matter of taste that you don't share the sense of humor? Absolutely. But again, no one promised you the right to not get offended, and you have the right to voice your opinion. If you don't like something that offends you, fine, you can voice your opinion. You can choose to not do business with somebody. That's your right as well. And then what stays is what society deems is acceptable by free market, in essence, And so I don't understand. Like I've never written a letter to anybody in my life that I was offended, but I get emails all the time that something we said. I mean, somebody could be offended by this conversation right now because we didn't use the proper terms. It used to drive me nuts when I would try to do something really nice, like say for somebody that had special needs, okay? And I'm sharing a story about this child with special needs, and it's like, and it's a really great story. And then I would get blasted with emails that were arguing semantics. No, the child does not have special needs. They are whatever it was, the semantics at the time. I remember getting blasted for the semantics of it, and I'm like, you missed the entire story because you wanted to be offended by the wording of something that really is not offensive, maybe to you, but to 99% of the world, they just thought, oh, that's really cool. You're highlighting this child who's doing something amazing that, maybe they were never thought or expected to do, but they could do now. And we should celebrate that. But because you said, they deal with special needs versus they have special needs, like you're offended. Like that is the stuff that drives me crazy in this world, So... Whew, that was a little miniature soapbox there. Didn't see that coming.
Oh, that was because we talked about aged poorly on TV.
Yeah. There you go. Cool. Oh, real quick, before we get out of here, did you see the fine, Gavin, on the NFL owner for throwing the drink on the fan?
It was like
$300,000. I guess was he in a box and just poured it on somebody after the game?
Yeah, he kind of pushed it at them. But it was funny because somebody did the math on what $300,000 is to him.
Yeah.
And they equated it to the average American salary, and they said that it was equivalent to the average American losing like $1.77.
Oh, he's that rich.
Oh my gosh.
He's we're talking anyone who owns a NFL franchise is a billionaire.
Yeah.
So that was just very little money to him. It's more that his name is getting sullied than him actually losing cash. But it is a lot of money.
Can you imagine being in a world where $300,000 was like $1 to you? Like I can't even fathom that kind of money.
Don't know how much I'd complain.
No, yeah, I know. I mean, that's crazy.
It's worth it.
Yeah, at that point you can just do it every game and you're fine.
I thought the fine was super excessive, but I guess not. But the thing I read, they were making the argument that fans get banned for life from the stadiums for doing the same thing. And
why did he do it to begin with?
I think that there was a fan of the other team who was jawing at him or calling his team because he's the owner of the worst team in football.
Right. 2-14, I think.
They're just in a bad place. It's stressful. Stuff's going on there.
And you're still guys, you're still competitive. And so you got someone jawing at you. Like at the end of the day, sometimes you'll pop back off or you throw the.
He was quoted saying, I'm super passionate and I love this team so much and I'm just disappointed that we're not doing well.
Yeah.
I let the moment get to me. I'm sorry. I accept the NFL's.
I saw
fine.
he said he accepts it. Yeah, he's like, I accept it.
I would too if it didn't mean that much to me.
Yeah. If that kind of money is
If
nothing.
you were in that situation, Wally, I could easily see you doing that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
But I
got
could see
the
you
money.
doing even more. Be like, oh, $300,000 fine? Fine.
Yeah, I'll do it again.
And you throw something at the guy that finds you.
Oh, I would do the math and be like 300, 600, 900. Hey, bring me some more. I'm going to get his whole family.
Yes, you would.
Give me a bigger bucket.
You would be the worst.
I know I would be the worst. That's why the Lord will never let me win the lottery. I told my wife this. My wife, when she sees the lottery get up to like $900 million, she's like, we should play. I'm like, you go play. You go play. Because I guarantee you the Lord knows he is never going to let me win the lottery because I would not use the money for good. I would do some good with it for sure.
For sure.
I would
But you
start
would
some
also-
charities and I would do some amazing things. But I also would never fly commercial again. I don't care where I'm going. I would fly private everywhere. And with that kind of money, I would buy
And with
a
the
jet.
ozone layer as it is,
I'd
we
buy
don't
two.
care.
Don't care. I'd buy 2 jets just to go to the store, and then I would use my money for bad things
Gonna
like
go
that.
invest
would.
in some global warming.
Yeah,
Here.
exactly. So yeah, that's why the Lord will never ever let me win the lottery. You heard it here first. I promise you. If one day I just don't show up, and then you see pictures of me on an island, you can bet that my wife won.
Not you.
Yeah, not me.
She's like, you can come with me.
Yeah, maybe.
Versus like letting you
even
be.
she might not let me
But
go.
he's got to take a commercial plane.
Yeah, she flies
She takes the
private.
private jet.
I'm just her lackey at that
Yes.
point. Oh, that's so great. Do you have any birthdays?
Yes, Myrna and Vino. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Want to wish their daughter Sophia a happy birthday.
Nice.
Sophia is turning 16.
Oh,
Sweet
that's a
16.
big one. I loved my 16th birthday.
Said she's smart, sassy, and funny, and we're so proud of the young lady she's become. She has a lot in common with Gavin.
What?
She loves Marvel
Yes.
and Harry Potter.
Yes, that's all they said. You swear? And
She has a tiny bladder.
just a tiny bladder.
It's not there. It's not there. It's not there. I know when it's real or not.
It'd be so great if it ended like we started.
But the question is just for you, Gavin.
Oh, great.
So the question is, who is your favorite Marvel character? And honestly, I couldn't tell you who's Marvel and who's
I
the
know.
other one.
DC.
DC.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
They're all the same.
That's interesting.
And they all run together. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like every plot has been done and we're just,
You
pushing 'em
rehashing and then connecting them all.
But all you comic book people and Harry Potter people are getting together and giving them the money. That's the thing. Because you make good money because they're smart and they're in good, besides you, Gavin, but they're in good jobs. And so they can pay for the
my job.
lightsabers and all that stuff.
I
And
got
so
a
they get it.
Yeah. So what is your favorite character?
Marvel.
Let's go Marvel. I'd probably say Iron Man, just because you get all the cool
fair.
technological things.
And he's a human.
He had really good growth from the onset of just being a billionaire to saying, "Oh, I'm a billionaire. Let me use my money for good." Good character growth throughout the whole thing. Robert Downey Jr. I just liked him as an actor in that role.
He's really good.
There are
Is
other.
Spider-Man Marvel?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
And
I do like
Spider-Man's
the
great, too.
Spider-Man franchise,
Tom
and
Holland, great guy.
they've had 3 good ones. Like Tobey Maguire, I thought was great,
Yep.
and Tom Holland, I think was fantastic.
Yep.
I forget the other one.
Andrew
Andrew Garfield.
He was good.
It's
The
fine.
movies were just poorly made.
Yeah, that's not his fault though.
So I would go with Iron Man. Maybe a different answer if I had more time to think about it, but then I'd be getting into the weeds
Yeah.
Have
too
you
much. and
okay?
you don't want
Have
to
you
hear
seen that new one? Oh, gee, her web. What is it called? Madam Web.
Madam Web that's coming out later this year.
Yes. Now the trailer for it looked interesting. I've seen a bunch of movies recently, and so I saw the trailer for this. I still can't get it to catch on too. When I go to AMC and when Nicole Kidman comes in, yeah, I always when she comes in and I
Come
see
here for magic.
when the foot hits the puddle, I instantly go no, and then when she gets to because in here, and I go, we know they are, and I just can't get people to do it with me.
You should do Regal Cinema because they're you can do the same, $22 a month.
Yeah.
But their little intro thing is just flashbang stuff now. It's super quick and super nice.
Yeah.
I think AMC just has better theaters. But
I have started going to the bougie AMC theater here in Franklin because you pick your seats. Remember when they first came out with that during COVID and we all were like, this is horrible. Who wants to pick your seats? This is the worst idea ever. I love it.
Why?
Now, here's why. My wife has a specific seat she needs to sit in every time. How come every story starts with my wife? Because when we go to the movie theater, she has a bad hip. And so she likes the one where the bar is there so she can put her foot on the bar. It helps her hip do the thing. So when we go to one where you don't pick your seats, it's always, we have to get there 30 minutes early because she has to guarantee.
You're leaving it up to chance.
And then she's looking over there at Esmeralda, the other lady in the walker, and they're eyeing each other. Yeah, they're side-eyeing each other to see who's going to get to that space first. And she's not above pushing an old lady.
Bad hip or no?
Yeah. And so,
that's close to the front, too.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah. So when we go to the Franklin Theater, it's nice because then we pick our seats and we get there right at time now.
At the Franklin one, too, it's all recliners, and so it wouldn't matter where y'all sit.
They're not all.
Oh, really?
No. The last two movies we've seen there are not recliners. Yeah.
That's odd.
I know. I don't want to live in that world.
I would say, I don't feel like I'm too bougie about a lot of things, but that I am.
I do have a 5 calls it about this we're going to do tomorrow, though, about somebody that I thought broke protocol in the seats selection. So we'll do that tomorrow.
One of you or a stranger?
A stranger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that tomorrow.
I'm excited to hear.
Anyway.
Yay for judging.
Yay. All right, I always do. All right, so everybody does. Don't try to make this me. You're the judgiest person I know.
Absolutely.
All right, that's going to do it.
Go get yourself another piece of chocolate.
See, there it is. That's going to do it for your Aftercast. Thanks for being a potty.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.